When it comes to Sonic characters, you've got the ones you love, and you've got the ones you hate. Talk about my top 10 favorite Sonic characters. This will be including comics and games, but without further ado, let's begin the video.
I can't do this alone, even though I am strong. Need something more than me, someone to push me to leave.
Metal Sonic. Now, for a long time, Metal Sonic was actually my favorite character, even though he didn't have any personality. I just found him really cool. He was a robot, and he was Sonic. Two of my favorite things at the time. And just, it was really cool to see his abilities. I mean, come on. The guy can fly, shoot lasers, create energy spheres, create shields, and his different transformations as well, like Neo Metal Sonic and Metal Overlord. And even though I'm not the biggest fan of Sonic Heroes, I've got to admit, what they did with him was really cool. And that's why he's even on this list in the first place, because of what they did for him in that. Even though he was a stereotypical, oh, I want to rule the world, it was still really cool to see him go insane and be like, oh, I'm the real one and you're the fake. And that kind of plot point was really cool. Also, him going all Terminator 2 and getting his liquid metal form, and his copy ability, stealing the abilities of all of the other members of the Sonic teams, was just really cool to see. And definitely Metal Sonic was the best part of Sonic Heroes in my opinion. However, the reason he's so low on this list is because since then he hasn't really had much personality, and it's just been a mindless weapon. So hopefully they do more with him in Sonic Forces. Two robots back to back. Gamma is, well, he's pretty cool. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of the adventure games because, yeah, they are good games. It's just at times I find them glitchy, especially if you grew up with a modern era. But Gamma is just really cool. He's a Eggman Robo who worked for Eggman for a while. However, when meeting Amy and realizing the flickies are in the robot, he realized that, he's got one inside him and wanted to set them all free by taking down the other E series. And he decided to fight them all. And he beat them all, even though he was stated to be one of the weakest. And his fight with Beta is really good, which ends with them both shooting each other and them both dying. So yeah, Gamma dies in the game. And I think his story was great, and I think he's actually quite a underrated character in the Sonic universe. I'd love to see him again in maybe a spin-off game, and I loved how they portrayed him in the Archie comics as well. Number 8 is Methless. Now, pitchforks and torches down, yes, Sonic 06 is a bad game. Even though the glitches can be fun at times, it is a bad game. However, it did bring us good things. Silver the Hedgehog, arguably one of the most recognizable songs in the Sonic franchise, His World, and Methless, who is probably one of my favorite villains in the Sonic series. He is just really cool. He's dark, he's cunning, he's manipulating, he's just such a cool character. He's like a shadow villain, and his boss fights, even though the game is pretty glitchy, can be pretty fun with his constant teleporting, creating clones, dark shadow attacks, and he's a very good manipulator. He's very conniving, even getting Silver and Blaze to do what he wants by manipulating him. He is just a really fun character to watch. He's always dark, he doesn't really have any redeemable qualities or anything like that. He's just a straight-up terrible person. When I first played this game when I was 8, he really scared me. He was just so intimidating, especially his transformation state as well, when he wasn't like a shadow clone. Also, his voice really suits the character as well. And in case you didn't know, he's voiced by Dan Green, who's responsible for this.
It's time to do.
The number 7 spot is Beanbark and Knack. Now these three characters are, well, they are from the games. They appeared in Sonic Fighters and in Sonic Mania. However, I prefer them in the Archie comics, mostly because you get them more fleshed out. And they are really fun and lovable characters, and I find they bounce off of each other quite well. They're mercenaries, and they mainly work for Eggman, but they also work for other people as well. Sometimes they end up working together by choice, and sometimes just by coincidence. but I love how these characters bounce off of each other, and I always enjoy seeing them on screen. Bean is just really crazy and loves to bomb things. Knack's just a shooter, and he's also just quite calculative and loves money, and Bark's just a silent strongman. And I love how Bean and Bark are together. I think they've got like the best like team dynamic, but Knack also works in very well as well. They're all just fun characters to see on screen, on paper technically, but you get the point. And I just love it when they come on. They always have funny moments together. Unfortunately, the Archie comics have been cancelled, but I hope when the new people take over the comic series, they make these three as good as they were in the Archie version. Number 6 is Silver the Hedgehog. Now, while Silver did appear in arguably the worst Sonic game ever, he was one of the greatest things about the game in my opinion. Silver is from the future, and was manipulated, as I said in the previous entry, by Mephiles to go back in time and kill Sonic. And nearly killed him quite a few times, and was even able to match Sonic and Shadow. He's a telepath, and has psychokinesis, meaning he can throw up objects into the air and levitate them, and can also do cool abilities like Psycho Slashing. He's also based off of Future Trunks, one of my favorite Dragon Ball Z characters as well. Silver is just a cool character to see on screen. Even though he's a bit naive, he was always cool to see in how much he's willing to fight for his motives. Also, the development he got in the game, while was sometimes a bit buggy because of the voice acting at times, it was still pretty good, as he was doubting whether it was right to come back in time and kill someone. And while people like Blaze were telling him, oh no, you have to do it, he actually doubted it, which made him a cool character to watch. Sonic 06, I think he was the most developed character out of all of them, and was definitely my favorite character in Sonic 06. And Silver would be higher if it wasn't for him basically getting resetted. He's not really appeared in any other mainstream games. He appeared in Sonic Generations, but he didn't really do much in that, and he appeared in Sonic Rivals, but yeah, pretty much the same Silver. But we know Silver's getting rebooted, so hopefully this Silver will be a lot more interesting, and who knows, maybe after Sonic Forces debut, then he'll be higher up on the list. Number 5 is Blazer Cat. Now Blazer Cat is Sonic's only female rival. She also has the ability to use pyrokinesis, which is like fire manipulation. She's appeared in a couple of games such as Sonic Rush 2, a different version of her in Sonic the Black Knight, and of course Sonic 06. But I'm mainly talking about her Rush counterpart. She's very intelligent and very calm-minded. She's very strategic, however, she can get carried away and get a little bit hot-headed. Also, her character development in the first game was really good, as she discovered that yeah, she does need help from time to time, even though she is a really powerful princess from another dimension. It was just really cool to see her character progress through the story, and she's one of the few people to give Sonic a real good run for his money. That's why she is number 5 on my list. Knuckles. Now, the first Sonic game I ever played was Sonic and the Black Knight, and this was the first introduction I had to Knuckles, and though he was my favorite of the Round Table Knights, not by much if I'm honest. To be honest, I found him cool, but just not that cool. But when I was introduced to his main counterpart, I was like, wow. At the time, I thought Knuckles was the strongest character in the entire Sonic universe, considering he one-shotted Super Sonic. However, I later found out this was due to him using the power of the Master Emeralds to deactivate the Chaos Emeralds. So yeah, that bit's been debunked. Anyway, Knuckles is just a cool character to play as. He's the last of the Echidnas, at least in the game timeline, which is what I'm using for this. And he's also the guardian of the Master Emerald, and will do whatever it takes to protect it, fighting Eggman and even fighting Sonic if he needs to. However, he is really gullible, and that's what puts him lower. Just at times, when I see him get tricked by Eggman, or him act stupid in other things like in the recent games, at least not in Forces, he looks to be a lot more serious in that one, but in games like Lost Worlds and stuff like that, he was acting a lot goofier and just a lot cockier and stupider, and it just got annoying on some cases. But Knuckles is still a really cool character. I like his rivalry with Sonic, I like cool relationship he has with Tails, and just, I really think Knuckles in general is just a pretty cool guy. though I wish that they would tone down the gullibleness and the stupidity and the whole punch first, ask questions later characteristics of Knuckles. Not much, because that is like the main point of his character, but just tone it down a little bit. And considering what's going to happen in Sonic Forces, I think my wish is going to come true. So maybe after that game comes out, I might rank Knuckles higher on this list. We'll just have to wait and see what the game shows us. Number 3 is Shadow, and really there is not a single thing I hate about this character. Everything from his design to his backstory to his character himself. Now, much like Knuckles, I was exposed to him first in Sonic and the Black Knight, and to be honest, I never really liked him that much. I mean, I thought he was a cool boss fight, but at times he could be annoying and his personality wasn't really that good. However, once I got to know the main timeline Shadow, my opinions of him completely changed. To start off with, Shadow's design is really cool. He's got the black and red going for him, two of my favorite colors. Also, his inhibitor rings and rocket shoes make him stand out from what Sonic looks like. And even though at first he might just seem like a Sonic fan character if you just like see Shadow and you don't know anything about the Sonic franchise, he's actually incredibly detailed and heavily explored. Shadow was born using the DNA of Black Doom, and I think some Hedgehog DNA, maybe Sonic, or a relative of Sonic, or whatever, and after that, he's created to be the cure to Maria Robotnik's disease. After this, the military raided the base where Shadow was being made at, killed everybody, including Maria, and Shadow swore revenge on humanity. Shadow, don't be a dick, he decided to change sides and fought alongside Sonic, and has been a really helpful ally. This whole amnesia thing, while people criticize it, was actually a cool plotline for me. And, you know, Shadow is, like I said, one of the most developed characters. He's also got some of my favorite powers, including super speed, teleportation, and blasting energy from your hand. And in the newest game, at this time recording, we're going to be seeing Shadow as he teams up with Infinite and tries to take down Sonic once again. But my only hope for this is they don't ruin all of his development and just treat this as a reboot like they did 06. And Shadow is still going to be one of my favorite characters no matter what. I know people probably saw this coming considering, you know, it's the main character of the franchise, but whatever. And let's be honest, you expected this. Sonic was basically the answer to Mario for Nintendo. Originally going to be, Hedgehog that was called Mr. Needlemouse and developed into Sonic. One of my favorite characters in fiction, to be honest. And just, well, think about it. Sonic's super fast, super speedy, got different powers which he can use like time manipulation, his super form, which is based on one of my favorite anime transformations, being the Super Saiyan, and just his cool attitude to life. Always just going by the flow, always just running ahead and looking to the future, and always being around to support his friends and make sure that Robotnik doesn't hurt the Earth or damage his animal friends. Which is just really cool about how dedicated Sonic is. Also, all of his badass moments, like the Unleashed cutscene at the beginning, that was really cool to see. And just how cool Sonic can be, and also his cockiness. While I do believe that he can be at times a bit more cocky than Knuckles, he does it right. Like, it's not his entire character. I have found balance between his cockiness and other parts of his personality, and Sonic is definitely worthy of being number 2 on my list. I know you're probably thinking this is rubbish considering I put him above Sonic and Shadow. However, I just find Archie Tails to be pretty relatable. Not the whole him being the chosen one plotline. It's just, I found Tails in general to be relatable, but Archie Tails is just a much better character. But as I said, I found Tails in general relatable. Just because I know what it feels like to be mocked for, you know, what you're into and how it's weird to other people and just being bullied in general. Which is what made Tails a really compelling character to me when I first found out about his backstory. Before this, I just thought he was that annoying tech guy, and now I realize, you know, he might be those things in the games, but in the Archieverse he's a lot different. Well, he still has this whole compelling backstory, which is like, Archie Tails is basically the best of both worlds. I also love his Chosen One storyline. That's probably one of my favorites in the entire franchise. Also, his fight with Sonic, and how the two became enemies for a short while, while Tails was trying to stop Sonic from imprisoning his parents because they were speaking up against the monarchy, which was just a really cool storyline as well. And Tails, while he can be a bit annoying in the Archieverse sometimes, is just a lot more dedicated to things like fighting, and you see him helping Sonic out more with just fighting in general and taking on Metal Sonics without the whole tech thing. And while he does use tech, he's still a lot more combat oriented, and that's what I really like about him. Just in general, Archie Tails is just a really cool character and deserves the #1 spot. Guys, that was my top 10 favorite Sonic characters. I hope you enjoyed, and in the comments let me know what your top 10 favorite are. And vote in the poll. You'll be able to decide what the next 2 episodes Sonic September and what they're going to be. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Can you